Well, that is true. That is true, but not for me in Beijing. Like I told you, Beijing is a capital city, and situation is quite different from other parts of China.
Right.
So, from some of our colleagues in Guangzhou, which has the highest concentration of Africans in China, so there are some cases of them asking Africans to be tested for the past 2, 3 days. So, which has brought a lot of uproar even at the diplomatic level. And I feel like the major thing that works for China is that people listen, and most Chinese and of course foreigners here see that staying at home as a civil duty. But this actually does not just happen because you actually want to obey the government, but because the government also takes some responsibility. For instance, like for me here in China, we get fruit delivered for us every week.
Right.
I get, like right now, I have more than 20 marks in my cupboard. So I have swipes. So all those things are being delivered for me for free. So I have everything I need. So I'm able to obey the government because I have everything I need. So I feel like the government also needs to keep their legitimacy by ensuring that they provide what the people need.
So, guys, we have with us a Nigerian student in China by the name Lukmon Akintola. Is one of those in China, and as we know already, this coronavirus pandemic started from China. So we decided to hook up with him for an interview to tell us what actually is happening in China out there and how Nigerians out there are faring, because a lot of things have been said about this pandemic in China. Nigerians in China complaining about being maltreated by the Chinese government, but want to hear directly from someone who's there to tell us how things have been faring. So, Lukman, are you still there?
Yes, I have. I'm with you.
Okay, so Lukman, how's it going? How is China? How is Beijing where you are? How is everywhere out there?
Thank you for having me. First, I feel Beijing is very safe, and as at this point we have very few cases. Since January till date, we have been on lockdown too. And while other cities are situation are getting better in other part of China, Beijing is still relatively on lockdown because it has a lot of diplomatic. It's a diplomatic city. We also have a lot of government institutions and all that. So, and it's also a port city also. So that makes it very, they are very careful about allowing people to come in at this point. So we are still on lockdown. As I speak, I can't leave campus. And generally, the situation has been under control, and I feel like the situation is getting better.
Okay, so there were reports about some Nigerians being maltreated in China, people saying that they are not allowed into malls and all of that. Do you have any information about that? Do you think this is true in any way?
Well, that is true. That is true, but not for me in Beijing. Like I told you, Beijing is a capital city, and situation is quite different from other parts of China. So, from some of our colleagues in Guangzhou, which has the highest concentration of Africans in China, so there are some cases of them asking Africans to be tested for the past 2, 3 days. So, which has brought a lot of uproar even at the diplomatic level. But for us here in Beijing, it's quite very chill, and we don't have any issues. And for the fact that I'm in Peking University, so which is actually one of the top universities here in China, so we actually have that kind of respect, irrespective of where you are coming from. So
Right.
I feel that for me, I don't have any issue, and I've not seen any. But that does not mean there are no issues in other parts of China,
Yeah.
especially Guangzhou, which has been on the news for the past few days.
Okay, fair enough. In China, how do you think they managed to quickly get rid of this virus? I mean, it started out there in China, and then right now we have heard that there are very few cases from China. How do you think Chinese government managed to put this out within a very short period of time?
Well, I think that this is a very good question. I feel that the Chinese government, first, is a police state where everybody respects the government. And again, I think that the major thing that works for China is the stay-home policy,
Right.
which is actually not not negotiable like it is in other parts of the world. And you still hear the word called social distancing in places like Nigeria, even in the US. In China, there's nothing like social distancing. You stay home. You must stay at home. I think that that is the major thing that worked. And of course, there are other big data thing that they use in terms of tracking people that are coming in, whereby you get to, if you receive an alert of green, that means you are okay. If you get yellow, that means so. These are also some things they use in tracking, a kind of a database system. But that actually is not the major thing. I feel like the major thing that works for China is that people listen, and most Chinese and of course foreigners here see that staying at home as a civil duty.
Right.
So if they all see it as civil duty, I feel like it's actually really worked, and it's still working, because for me myself, I don't see any reason to even go out of the campus. So everybody knows that it is for your own good. But this actually does not just happen because you actually want to obey the government, but because the government also takes some responsibility. For instance, like for me here in China, we get fruit delivered for us every week.
Right.
I get, like right now, I have more than 20 marks in my cupboard. So I have swipes. So all those things are being delivered for me for free. So I have everything I need. So I'm able to obey the government because I have everything I need. So I feel like the government also needs to keep their legitimacy by ensuring that they provide what the people need to make them stay at home. So that's what I think, and it's really worked well for China.
Yeah, that takes me to the next question, because in Nigeria here, a lot of people are expectant, saying that the government has to provide for them, give them something to help them stay at home. So are you saying that there are enough palliatives in China to go around, like there are enough stuff for people to stay at home and not necessarily bother themselves about going out?
Well, to a large extent, and again, what I would say might not actually reflect what happened across all provinces in China. So, but to a large extent of what I see here in Beijing, there are a lot of palliative measures that they are taking in order to take care of the people. And again, this also has to do with, for instance, where you work. You get your salary paid on time, you get things available to you. So it's actually not government alone. It is a collaborative effort with where you work, the government, the province. At times, it could even be your landlord. So all these things is a form of collaborative effort, and everybody sees it as a duty to work together in addressing this pandemic. So I feel like this is also some kind of part of socialist system, which actually you might not see in some other parts of the world. However, we are also seeing some of these things playing out in the United States, where a lot of people are also trying to assist themselves. So I feel like this is a collective work from the government to the people, and just trying to assist themselves to address the pandemic. That's what I think the Chinese people are trying to do to assist themselves.
All right. On a general basis, how safe do you think China is right now? I mean, they are beginning to have people come back into the country from foreign countries. How safe? That's like the final question. How safe is China right now?
Okay, first, China right now are not allowing people to enter because just last 2 weeks they put up a measure. They cancel. They place a temporary ban on everybody that has a permanent residency that is outside China. None of them can come in now until they remove the ban. So that is that. But about being safe, the truth is that you can't be too sure about how safe anywhere is right now. But compared to other parts of the world, I feel that the situation is getting better. Right now, you can actually go to the beach. Some are even going to the malls. So it's actually getting better. But about being safe like normal life, we can't actually compare it to normal life. But to other countries, it's really better. It's
All
really
right.
better.
Thank you very much for your time out there, Lukmon Akintola. We've been speaking with Lukmon Akintola, a Nigerian student out there in Beijing, China. China is noted for the country where the coronavirus pandemic started from. And of course, a lot of people are scared of going to China or from associating with Chinese nationals right now. But this is a Nigerian student who's out there telling us today, right now, that everything out there is relatively safe. Beijing is relatively safe, and several other parts of China at this moment. Thank you very much for your time, Lukmon, and we hope that
Thank you for having me.
yeah, we hope that you stay safe out there and avoid any kind of trouble and make Nigeria proud at all times.
Thank you so much. I'm really grateful.
Thank you very much, Lukmon.